What if I told you that India's farmers could be the key to solving the country's energy crisis? It sounds like a stretch, right? But today, we're diving into a powerful new idea that connects struggling farms directly to the national power grid. It's a model designed to make farming way more profitable and make India much more energy independent. And believe me, this isn't just some small local project. It's a story of rural innovation that has the potential to reshape the entire nation. So here's how we're going to break it all down. First, we'll look at the two big challenges India is wrestling with. Then we'll get into the solution, this thing called the SMART FPO. We'll see how it actually creates value. And then the really exciting part, we'll explore the game-changing impact this could have if it goes nationwide. All right, so to really get why this new model is such a big deal, you first have to understand the two massive problems it's designed to solve. There's one happening on the farm and another playing out on the global energy stage. Okay, let's start with this number because it is, well, it's pretty stunning. The government has put a huge push into creating these things called farmer-producer organizations, or FPOs. You can think of them as companies owned by farmers, but a staggering 95% of them are basically failing. And the main reason? They're usually built around traditional, low-profit crop sales, which just doesn't bring in enough money to survive. Now, at the exact same time, you've got this huge national problem. India's economy is incredibly hungry for energy, right? It burns through over 145,000 metric tons of natural gas every single day. But here's the catch, the big vulnerability. About half of that, is imported. That ties the country's entire energy security to some really volatile global markets. So you've got these two massive and what seem like totally separate problems, struggling farmers on one hand and a national energy gap on the other. But what if the solution to one is the solution to the other? Well, that's where this new model comes in, the SMART FPO. It's called the SMART FPO, and SMART here isn't just a clever name. It's an acronym. As you can see, it stands for Scalable, Measurable, Adaptable, Replicable, and Time-Bound. This was developed by a group called BestCare, and it's not just another farmer co-op. This thing is designed from day one to be a professional, high-value business. So what's so smart about them? Well, it's a completely different way of thinking. For starters, they're using modern tech like drones and AI for super efficient farming. They also have a really strong social mission, working closely with local women's groups. But here's the most important part. They're built around business models, like clean energy, that are designed to start making money in just 6 months. That is absolutely critical for long-term survival. And this model doesn't exist in a bubble. It's actually been designed to plug directly into India's big strategic push for clean and renewable energy. It creates this perfect synergy between what the government wants to do and what can be done at the grassroots level. Now, here's the thing. This model isn't starting from zero. The government has already laid a ton of groundwork. You've got programs like SATAT and Go Bardhan that are specifically there to give out subsidies and financial help for bioenergy projects just like this. This creates a kind of safety net, you know? It lowers the financial risk and makes it a much more attractive option for rural communities. Okay, so the theory sounds great, but what about the money? What are the actual numbers here? Let's take a look at the real economic and energy value that just one of these SMART FPO clusters can kick out every year. The whole system uses this really clever two-part strategy. At the center of it all, you have a big industrial plant that makes something called compressed biogas, or CBG. That's basically biogas that's been cleaned up so it can be used just like commercial natural gas. That's the part that makes money. Then, all around it, you have smaller village-level hubs that produce raw biogas for people to use locally, saving them a ton of money on cooking fuel. And the numbers, they're pretty serious. That central plant isn't some small-time operation. It's a full-on commercial venture that's projected to bring in almost 5 crores in revenue every single year just from selling that compressed biogas. This is the economic engine that keeps the whole FPO profitable and sustainable. But what about the local community? Well, this is where it gets really powerful. Those smaller village hubs, they produce enough biogas to replace over 8,100 of the standard cooking gas cylinders every year. I mean, for thousands of families, that's not just a number. That's real, tangible savings in their pockets. So let's put it all together. You take the commercial sales from the big plant and you add the value of all those energy savings for the community. And what you get is a total energy value of nearly 6 crores from just one SMART FPO cluster every single year. That's huge. Okay, so that's the impact of just one. The obvious next question is, what happens if you start building more of these? What's the potential impact if you scale this solution across the entire country? And this leads to a really fascinating thought experiment. Could a whole network of these farm-based energy hubs actually make a real dent in India's dependence on imported energy? Well, the math gives us a pretty clear answer. Let's just walk through the numbers here. So the goal is to replace 25% of India's daily natural gas needs. We know our tool, a single SMART FPO, can produce about 3.44 metric tons of gas a day. From there, it's just a simple division problem. And here it is, the big number. To replace a full quarter of India's daily gas demand, you would need a nationwide network of about 10,550 of these SMART FPOs. I mean, think about that for a second. Suddenly, this isn't just a small local idea anymore. This is a blueprint for massive, nation-building change fueled entirely from the ground up. And that leaves us with this final, really powerful question. Can millions of small farms actually solve a nation's energy crisis? Well, if you give them the right business model, the right technology, and a direct pipeline into the energy economy, the answer might just be yes. This could be a genuine revolution, transforming both India's farms and its energy future at the same time.